Our journey to the European Brass Band Championships began here. Not our usual rehearsal space, but somewhere to try out a different acoustic, a different sound. And perhaps the new environment helped to hammer home the fact that this was no ordinary competition.
I once came home, my mum had thrown all my A-level notebooks in the garden because I went to the band and to the pub before the exam. So if I don't know it now, I'm not the bloody know, am I?
Brian, pass out the Shutsky.
Oh, thank you.
The European Championships are held every year, each time in a different place. Each band representing their country and each trying to win. We had won our place through the NIBA, a local competition 2 years earlier, which meant we were bound for the seaside resort town of Palanga, Lithuania. With under 4 months to go, it was time to choose what to play.
One which we would be keen to look at again is Sitting Understand Again, which is of Distant Memories. So that is one of the ones that we'll be looking at for the European test piece.
The good thing is, the shell's cracked on it, alright. And we've played it out once or twice. So if you don't mind, let's sort of get ODM again.
To show you what brass bands are all about, I sat down to chat with some members of our own, the first All Boys Silver Band.
The first Old Boys always had one of this slightly bad reputation amongst all the bands in Belfast. And I guess it was one of the most, probably one of the most working class bands, and also probably the ones that was most exciting.
One thing I remember when I was chairman, when I got on the chairman, the Old Boys were known as a lazy band, and it used to break my heart. They were known for being lazy. Devil May Care, throw it together at the end of, we'll always get there, we'll get to a contest, we'll get to a concert, we'll always just make it and we'll get there. That used to break my heart, and that's something we try to change.
How do you think playing music and being in the band affects your life?
It means I can never have any other plans for Monday or Thursday night.
I am studying accountancy at Queen's. I'm enjoying it, but a lot of work goes into it. Stressful enough whenever you're sitting like, I have no time to revise, and I feel like I shouldn't be going to band because I'm revising, or I should be revising, but then like I have to go to band.
Bands are always delicate.
It's a big commitment. It is a big commitment.
We do it as a voluntary thing, and people have got university, they've got work, they've got families.
You have to be on board with the level of preparation it takes, definitely. Because if you're not, you're sort of wasting everybody else's time too.
With 2 months to go until the competition, the rehearsals chug on.
We have the opportunity now of going over, and I'm encouraged by what we've just done on the first movement and a bit of the second movement. I'm really encouraged. I want us to go, and I want us to do the best that we can do. The best that we could do would have us at the top.
Wallace Prep School may not be our usual rehearsal room, but this is an old government building which has long since become the setting for a post-apocalypse movie. It's without a doubt the worst brass band room in the country. So, what drives a group of people to come here twice a week?
Sometimes, like the year that we were going to Scotland and it got cancelled because of the storm, or it got cancelled, so everybody just went to the Christmas market. Just social things like that. I really enjoy speaking to people, seeing people. So I think it's a good social network and it's a good way to get out of the house.
To a sense, especially within the tuba section, we're all lunatics to some extent or another. Some of us have more experience than others, but we're still very much good friends at the root of it. You look at wee Harry and Nina are only 13, 14, and they're sitting beside Brian, who's the longest serving member within the band.
I'm Nina Linus. I've been playing cornet and trumpet for around 5 years.
What's it like being one of the youngest people in the band, sitting next to Brian, who is the oldest serving member of the band?
Yeah, it's very, very good. He's very helpful. He'll definitely tell me if I'm playing something wrong or I need to play out more.
There's the prime example of experience and sort of youth, mixing together.
It's very interesting to see how other people play around you, and it's also good having someone playing the right notes in your ear next to you. So
There would be so much that our older players can pass on to our younger players, and vice versa. There will be things our younger players will come out with that, or maybe older players haven't thought about or haven't been thinking about.
I would say actually now the younger members of the band, and it's great to see them on the committee, in principal seats and doing stuff, in some ways they're actually quieter and more respectable and responsible than my generation was when we were in our late 20s and 30s. And I remember terrorising Buxton when we were on a band competition there, sticking a cucumber through people's letterboxes and shouting, "The Martians are coming, missus," in the old Ken Dodd joke and stuff like that. That's just silly behaviour, It's inappropriate and silly behaviour, which I would frown upon now. Now I'm responsible. I was only 35 at the time, whereas now I'm in my 60s, I wouldn't do something so silly, Yes.
Do you think your experience of the band is different because you're younger?
Other than drinking, not really, I don't think so.
I had the great honour of being part of the youth band setup and being the chairman of the youth band whenever it started. Being there when the kids came through it and the next generation of banders. And the decision was made, no, these kids have a tough core and are hardcore banders. Just because a lot of you had every bit as much talent as all the rest of us. So we just thought, well, why would we treat them any differently? We're not treating them as kids, we're treating them as players.
It brings together people from all walks of life. It's like anything, we're all different. There's a lot of different personalities and different people that make up the band. But you need that, it takes all sorts to make the world go round. There's something lovely about music being that sort of connecting factor. We're all there for the shared purpose of the band.
Of Distant Memories wasn't the only piece we needed to play. All bands in our section were also assigned a set piece, Baltic Legends, with some unconventional sounds.
Is there such a thing called a whistle, Lyle? You got that?
Is it like...
Google, quick, Google.
It was like...
Or perform Isle sounds with Anne.
Don't like that.
Again, imitating the wind. Here we go.
I asked Ian about the band's history with the Europeans and got some very interesting answers.
So the band won the NIBA in 1990, just before I joined. And we went over to the Europeans for the first time in 1991. We were in the championship section, and we came last. Right. We were also the Europeans in 2000 in Birmingham, in the championship section, and we came last. The standard in Europe improves year on year on year, but the right place for us is the challenge section. The best we've done in that section is to come second, albeit by a small margin in 2014.
We've come so close now. We've had 3 seconds, and it is painful.
Certainly, I think by far this is the best band and the best chance we've ever had on it in my time. No shadow of doubt about that in my mind. The last 2 years for the band have been seismic in the sort of movement and change in atmosphere and direction.
Yeah, it's getting real. I'm nervous. I'm getting nervous now. I just want to do my best for the band. Because now that I'm on the flugel seat, there's a lot more pressure on me than there was sitting fourth man down in the front row.
There are a lot of those solo lines lead on from one another, so if I knock something over, I could knock something else over for somebody else, and you don't want to be the start of that.
I think most of the band know that for me it's quite high in bits of it, which is scaring me. My range before going on the flugel was never my strong point. I wasn't very good at barista. I'm usually okay when we walk on the stage and we sit down. It's when we start playing, then my heart goes like a million miles an hour and I can feel it in my chest. If something goes wrong, everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna know.
Our final rehearsal before travelling to Palanga. Once again in a different place, and we found some improvement had been made on our wind sound effects.
and as I say, we work hard, let's treat tomorrow as a day of rest. Tomorrow is not just a travel day, tomorrow is Dawn's birthday, and he's spending it with us traveling. So I thought it might be a fun. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Donald, happy birthday to you.
We are here in good time, so we're going to do
Personally, before I travel anywhere, the older I got, I feel nervous, particularly because as I got older, I've got physical mobility problems, spinal stenosis and a dodgy knee. People in the band have supported me.
This is my first big competition going away.
Good few memories. I like the trips. I think they're my favourite.
The trips away have been some of the best days of my life so far.
For all our competitive spirit and agonising, our section of the Europeans was made up of only 3 bands: the Italian band, the Lithuanian band, and us. But both these bands had beaten us before, and they were the favourites to win the competition.
It's mad, like how everybody in all the different countries view brass banding, and like the fact that we all do the same thing, come together in one place once a year.
How differently do you think other bands view brass banding?
Well, the English bands, obviously, it's a bigger scene than it is here. It's a much, much bigger scene.
It is. There's no other contest like it. Saturday afternoon, whenever you've 15, 16 bands, the very best bands from across Europe, who have all picked a piece to say, this piece suits us as a band, this is the best we can do. 15, 16 bands at the height of their powers doing what they do best. There's no comparison for it. And I mean, in a proper concert hall, there's also no sign like brass band in full flight. There's all sorts of music aboard, it's all sorts of beautiful music, but truthfully at the peak of its powers in a band fully and full tilt, there's absolutely nothing like it.
It's very rare anybody in their life gets to do something extraordinary. We get the chance to do something completely, totally extraordinary and be part of the European Championships. We go down and have a legitimate chance of winning it.
As John would say, we don't believe in ourselves enough, whereas all the other countries, you do go out and they're not cocky, but they do believe in themselves a lot more than what we do.
There's a raw competitive spirit within the band. We need to put the work in to get there to that stage, to give ourselves the best opportunity to say we are good enough for this.
Now and again, you go, we're going to nail this. We're going to win this. There'll be no problem whatsoever. But I don't know if I ever got that feeling about this. We were second. Lithuanian band were first. We were second, and the Italian band were third. The kicker is you get one go at it, and that's the heartbreaking part.
It's the most unforgivable, cruel thing, but we do it because we love it. It gives you some kind of mad, egotistical adrenaline buzz that is irreplaceable within my life anyway. I'm sure if I was into riding motorbikes at 2 million miles an hour and doing backflips, I'd probably get something similar, but I'm wholly uncoordinated, so I couldn't do that.
29th of December. The end of the year and moving out day. After over a decade in our old post-apocalyptic rehearsal building, the band had found a new home.
I really enjoy playing in general, but I think just the atmosphere is so fun. It's so nice to play in First Old Boys.
Playing the music, challenging myself, working on the pieces myself at home.
And I just really love it.
Now, I do know, now that I'm sort of, in my early 60s, that there's going to come a time when, I'm not going to be able to play at the required standard. And I hopefully will know when that time comes, and I'll know when it's time to call it a day.
I think there's the pride part of it as well, of course there is. The older you get, my playing days are numbered, obviously. It's just the joy of playing a brass instrument. You can't keep it going too long, so there won't be as many chances for me. I would love, because the old boys mean so much to me, I would love the old boys to set a record. I would like people now, the younger generation, to be growing up thinking about the old boys as being the band that was the behemoth, that was the monster, that was just, so good and, excellent at everything that they did. And part of that is written into history if you were to win the Europeans. We don't know, none of us know when we're going to stop playing for whatever reason, but it'd be nice to know that we were part of something that did well.